me flip this. And I have my ring on today too as well. So that's fun. Gorgeous. Okay. White lantern. Oh yeah. So if you guys have a favorite lantern, I actually was supposed to go live with Guy and I wanted to do some trivia, some lantern trivia, but we will save that for another time. It took me a little bit longer than anticipated to get my monocle on, my lantern, eye of truth, my eye of justice, all that kind of stuff. Because if you think about the way the emblem look, it's also like a scale of justice. And I'm going to show off some, I guess, preface some reads that are going to come up. Hi, Dandy Money Man. Welcome to the live. Thank you for the gift. And you guys, welcome to the Cosmic Comic Book Club. And so we're going to do a read today by Grant Morrison, The Day the Stars Fell. I really like this read because Grant Morrison has this really fun way of looking at cosmological storylines. And, you know, Green Lantern is a very cosmic kind of figure. And so if we think about the different lanterns like green, star sapphire, blue, indigo, red, yellow, which sometimes gets called like Sinestro core for whatever reason. Hi, Gwen Stacy. How are you doing, babe? Oh, yes, these are my own locks. So usually you guys, I have like it's also like my armor, right? My wig armor. And Batgirl in many cases actually does wear a wig. You know, it helps to conceal your alter ego identity. But this is my natural hair, my actual like um, source hair, if you want to call it. Um, so you guys, let's jump right into the read. I'm gonna do the oath first, and then we'll get right into this, and then another read that Supergirl is gonna do with you guys tomorrow. Okay, so let's start. In brightest day, in blackest night, let no evil escape my sight, and let all those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. Oh yes, it's like I mean it's part of the whole look, and I have the ring, right? So yay. Um, oh Superman, hi you guys. Okay, so did the oath. Fun fact about the ring: it does need to be recharged every once in a while. Um, Come join DC. Yeah, I know. Like, I'm kind of like, so if you guys don't know about Jessica Cruz, I like to call her like the final girl character. You know, if you think about like horror movies, hi Joey, welcome you guys to the Cosmic Comic Book Club, and all of you guys who love Lantern lore. So I got this comic book from the library before I actually went to Winnipeg. It was actually the one I wanted to bring with me to Winnipeg when I was hanging out with you guys in front of the fireplace. We were just talking about lantern stuff. So the lanterns they kind of work for the guardians of the universe. And they're a whole part of, if you look at Crisis, if you look at how DC was first created, they're part of like the formation of the earth, right? Because it's all tied to the emotional, energetic spectrum. And I have a really cool read that I just picked up today, also by Grant Morrison, which is Final Crisis. And I was tripping out reading this earlier today. And so this is going to be the read tomorrow that Supergirl will go over with you because it's almost like there's a crisis that happens every few years, right? Where there's convergence of things. And cosmologically, there's a lot that's prophesized in Doomsday Clock that relates to Final Crisis and all of that. And Grant Morrison is the same author of the story that we're going to read right now. And Grant, just like Alan Moore, even though Alan Moore tends to be, they don't like each other apparently, warring wizards, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, they do have a lot in common when it comes to the bigger archetypal nature of a lot of our heroes, right? And Green Lantern has not been done live action very well. Ryan Reynolds, I think the best part of that movie that I liked about it was Mark Strong playing Sinestro. I thought he was a strong Sinestro. Also, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds met on that movie, and she's kind of a mean girl, as beautiful as she is, unfortunately. I don't know who she played. Did she play Carol? Because then again, Carol dates Hal Jordan, and she also dates Kyle Rayner. She's the Star Sapphire, but the Star Sapphire ring is actually known as being parasitic, right? Where it takes over the consciousness of whoever's like holding the ring. Did I check out Absolute Green Lantern? Not yet. I have not checked out the Absolute series yet, you guys. I will this weekend. I'm planning on heading to the comic book shop. Um, my favorite Green Power Ranger. You know what? I actually vibe with that, Pokey. I do love. Um, remember when the evil Green Power Ranger existed and then he turned good? I love those character arcs. And Jessica Cruz goes on a similar character arc, right? She starts out with the fear ring, right? The ring of Volthoom. And through willpower, through actually Batman helps her with this, she learns to transmute that fear and she becomes a Green Lantern. So, yes. Oh, you guys, Enrique, if I'm your favorite Green Lantern, thank you. I'm here to guard you guys in this sector. And it may not seem it, right? Because the Green Lanterns have this vibe of being like a galactic police force. And I think the latest live action, The Lanterns, is going for that vibe, right? And I can kind of deal with it, like, true detective style way of like looking at crimes in the cosmos. That's cool. I can vibe with that. And you can have the different interactions and different personality types that all the different lanterns are. Because if you think about the ring and the power of the ring, it's really based on your imagination, right? It's like this concept of if someone were like to be attacking me and I were to fight back, would I bring up a shield? Would I do like the best offense? Or the best defense is offense? Would I just like jet myself out of the situation? Depending on how you want to approach it, you're going to use your ring differently, right? Just like magic users or people who have certain powers that are a bit more fluid in nature, right? Less of like, I have laser eyes, or I can like phase through matter, where that's not straightforward either. Let's be honest, but do you know what I mean, right? Like the lantern specifically, there's also this element of like the ring chooses you too, right? And that is actually a great way to jump into this story because we deal with my favorite Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and his relationship with his power ring as well. So, and thank you for you're awesome, Ronan X, and welcome. And Pokey, let me just see what you said. I missed it. Wolfie needs a. Yes, I'm making Wolfie a lantern outfit. You're so on the ball with that, Pokey, of course. So, I was trying to work on, how like live action voices of animals and stuff, voice actors for that. I remember, if you guys remember the shows like Look Who's Talking, when Bruce Willis, I think, voiced the baby and stuff. So, the voices of like what you think your dog sounds like. And I was like, I always do Wolfie's voice. Hello, I'm Wolfie. I'm like, would you really sound like that? I don't know. I'll try again. Or unless you guys have a good Wolfie voice, I'm down to hear it. I love voice actors. Before, because Wolfie is more important. Wolfie is the most important. I tell him all the time, like that Whitney Houston song, like the Lord will ask me what I did with my life, and I will say, I spent it taking care of you, Wolfie. And if that was like what my calling was here to like take care of you, then yo, I'm cool with that, right? Cruz is, yes, and Jessica Cruz herself, before we begin, she's a big favorite of mine personally because I relate to her on a level where she suffers from PTSD for a very good reason, right? Her best friends are killed in front of her by some big mob boss. So if you take any of those like not live action, any horror movies, any slasher films like Scream, she's kind of like Sidney Prescott, the final girl, where it's like, you know, I'm scared out of my mind. This is crazy, but I'm gonna still push through everywhere anyways because I love you. I love my team, and even though I'm scared out of my mind, I'm still gonna like get myself together and do the right thing, push through that kind of thing. And so I think it's an important message for all of us because, like, for me, I love performing. I love dancing, you guys, but I'm also super duper shy. I grew up like incredibly painfully shy, like really afraid of really afraid of like making friends because I was afraid of like people getting to know me and stuff, and like low like self-confidence and stuff. So performing on stage, oh, Andy Money Man, that's really sweet. So like I've worked on it, and I tell people, like I coached girls in fitness competitions, and they like ask me like, well, like, how do you make it look so easy? I'm like, do you know, like, one thing you don't know is like I am always scared. I am always terrified. It is a practice to face your fears and, do it anyways, right? That moment before you step on stage or before you're about to do something really, really scary, you take that deep breath and like everything just goes quiet and you step into the spotlight and then kapow. Where's Kilowog? He's probably in this as well. Flash doesn't have super thinking due to it removing his emotions. Patrick, thanks for the follow. Hold on, let's see. If Flash had a ring, could the constructs form as? That's a great question, Tui. Flash actually ends up having an honorary Blue Lantern ring, which is a Blue Lantern ring of hope. And those rings don't function in the same manner as the Green Lantern rings do. But Grant Morrison has written a Flash comic book where he says the line that with powers like the Flash, you need to fight the way that a science fiction writer writes. And I was like, yes, because you're thinking, you have to think like a chess move, like ahead of the situation. Like it's like how wizards fight. And I think oftentimes with Flash in a lot of the stories, his super speed is also because he can read really fast too, right? So he can read through all the manuals really quickly and get to know everything. So there's that as well. But that was a great, great question. Yeah, but I recommend Grant Morrison has also written a story with the Flash where he outruns the Death Flash. And there's also the Human Race, which is a great story in that as well. One of my favorite Flash stories is that where all of humanity gets together and like races with Flash in a cosmic battle. I'll come back to that one. Um, don't be sorry you got. Oh, Gwen Stacy, love you, girl. And so to all of you guys out there who struggle with fear, struggle with self-esteem, self-confidence, like who am I to do this? Am I worthy of being a Green Lantern? Am I worthy of stepping into this role? It's kind of I've never seen a man with a ring win an argument. Hey, Papa Dave. Oh, thank you for the gifts. So all of you guys out there who, regardless of what lantern ring you are, right, or you resonate with, the Green Lantern rings are supposed to be the balance between all the different emotions, right? Because if we think about fear or things like anger, rage, these things are not good or bad, right? It's about knowing how to wield each emotion, right? It's just like how the star sapphires, you could think of them as like being the emotion of love. Very, very Lord. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, exactly, Patrick. I love them for that. And I do love working on a team. I love the dynamics of a team and working on it. So two-pack. Let me go. I'm trying to. Black Flash is also called Zombie Flash. Yes, that is true. And let me go back here. Just trying. Oh, thank you, Papa Dave. Much love. Let's see. Oh, Jessica Cruz also works with a partner called Simon. I forget his last name. But it's just like on any cop show, she's like, we're working the beat, the galactic beat against space pirates and all the other kind of Baz. Thank you, Patrick. Yes, I like. I have a story with them together actually as well, but she is not in this story except for very briefly. But we're gonna go into the read. Let's do it. Barry was the Pentagon of Love in Crisis, so he would be a pink lantern. You know what? Great point with that. I do love Barry Allen a lot. Him and Supergirl, their friendship, the sacrifices that they're willing to do for the greater good. It's something to aspire to, and um, that's why I do like the Justice League and a lot of the DC heroes. There's a lot of deep psychological flaws or things that they're all working on, but I feel like there's a lot of we can see ourselves a lot in them, and I see myself in Jessica Cruz because it's not meant to be this thing that's like, oh well, I'm not scared of like the fact that all of reality may blip out of existence, right? You should be scared, but you do it anyways, right? Yes, you love Supergirl too. I love Supergirl as well. It's hard to do some of those characters justice, right? Because you're talking about big cosmic stakes, and I think that's where Green Lantern, it's hard to do right live action without having all of the background as to like when the world was made, and the guardians, and this concept too of like the greater cosmic order of things. And if you're still dealing with origin stories of a lot of your heroes, it's hard to get into like those bigger storylines and have it mean anything, because like, well, who cares? What color lantern do you think my original character Josie will be? you know um Supergirl actually ends up holding a red lantern ring, the Ring of Rage. I forget why. But the lantern rings interact with each other, right? So there's this idea that the blue lantern ring gives the person who has a red lantern ring the ability to disengage from it. So, to a long way of answering your question, Gwen Stacy, is that I'd probably pick green, right? Because green is like the mediator of a lot of the other colors. The love lantern ring, the star sapphire ring, is a difficult one to wield without having it take you over. It's like one of those things that like love makes you blind or crazy. Although Jon Stewart has a lovely relationship with a girl named Fatality, who's a star sapphire, and I like them together. But let's get into the read, you guys. This is Grant Morrison's Green Lantern, The Day the Stars Fell. And this is Hal Jordan, and she's a star sapphire. Forget which one she is, but we'll get into that in just a second. All right, you guys, make sure there's not too much glare. Settle in, grab a warm bevy, and let's get into some Lantern Tales. And then tomorrow, I'll be reading, oh my goodness, Final Crisis by Grant Morrison as well. And I don't know the timing of that, but it'll be some point in time tomorrow. Okay, you guys? Let's get to it. Oh no. I'm going to show you guys the script. We start very fairy tale like, and so when the script is like that, apologies, it's hard for me to read it with the glare. I gotta do it with like some epic narrator voice too, right? Not 9 mile hence, there stands a town we built on ever shifting ground, and in that town there tolls a bell, a countdown as we ride to hell. Together now, it's so unfair, yet mention it, well, no one cares. For no one dares to speak aloud, don't tell the truth, you'll scare the crowd. So heed the words of little men. Beware the wizard Meridian or Meridian. Wizards who talk in rhyme. They love talking in limericks and code. And I guess I was late today, but to quote Gandalf, right? A wizard is never late. You're always just on time. Oh, we're almost down to your birthday. Gwen Stacy, I have a plan to cosplay as Gwen Stacy for your birthday. Ghost Spider. Because I found some comic books with her. So, how about that? All right. Aha, let's see. Look closely then. Down streets made of green glass and rime, through the derelict avenues and haunted plazas at Emerald Sands, the girl with the biggest secret in her green little world gives scavenging her scraps as night falls and the story ends. While in the pine-stained gloom, oh my gosh, Meridian? I hope I'm saying that wizard's name right. Oh my goodness, thank you for the roses. And Josh, thank you. Kavana 17, thank you. I'm Jessica Cruz, if you guys don't know. I am like the first female Green Lantern of this sector. I'm here to protect you guys. Got my Green Lantern ring. I'm also reading you guys Grant Morrison's Green Lantern Tale. It's kind of like a follow-up, not a follow-up, it's kind of like a preface to, we're going to be reading some Final Crisis, which has some Green Lantern stuff in it. So I'm going to do a little preview of that at the end of this read. But we're not going to read this whole story. This is quite thick. So it's just going to be this beginning part dealing with how Hal and his relationship with his power ring. So, oh my gosh, Gwen Stacy, don't let everyone know that I'm that far along. And also, what is time? And also, did you guys know that Jessica Cruz is an Aquarius? She's born early February. I'm working on my cosplay calendar where each month is going to be a character that their birthday is in, and making Jessica Cruz an Aquarius. Fun fact. Here you go. All right, let me go on this side. And I hope you guys are doing well wherever you guys are. Oh, thank you. Um, while the while in the pine-stained gloom, Meridian's sinister ministers go about the hunt, gliding in silence through vacant promenades, whispering each to the other as their paths cross, like antique radios with the batteries running down. They can smell the fear. Indeed, fear can be smelled. The girl with no fear. The girl with the secret not even she knows. The witch girl, uh, Periwiger? Oh my gosh, these names are killing me here. Holds her breath as Merwidowin's ministers pass by, crackling softly through sullen moss dark shadows that lie as dense as the green world. Once there were bright, clean peppermint skies overhead. Over there were 1,000 shades of radiant, dreaming, paint chart green to choose from. Chartreuse and lime, aquamarine and viridian. Once Meridian slept, content, but now the wizard turns uneasily in his fretful slumber. All his little nightmares, taken shape, serve as his ministers, while the sorceress of the emerald sands, once filled with purpose, instead replay familiar gestures over and over, insensitive ghosts appearing. Pennewiger takes shelter from the glass storm that scours away the accustomed contours of the Emerald Sands Resort, dissolving in unremembered fragments, the world that once seemed so secure, before a creeping, indifferent magic came to steal it all away, piece by piece, grain by grain, atom by atom, sense by sense. Half blind, all but mute, deaf by degrees, Pennewiger does her best to stay alive. Not certain why. What makes her different than the others? She must surely be insane, she thinks, alone in a dying city on the emerald edge of nowhere. So we're kind of like dropping into like a dreamscape, right? So we have some wizard guy sleeping. There's nightmares, which serve as his ministers going out and doing havoc. We have this beautiful, I'm going to call her my elfin emerald fairy girl. She's in dying Emerald City. So we'll see what else is going on. She must be insane because she can hear footsteps surrounding, or rather sounding, down her spine. Footfalls sloughing through the sitting sand, inexorable. She knows that measured, remorseless, clock-like tread from dreams. Each step brings the end a little bit closer. Smarter than they think, Pennewiger's the mesmerizingly elaborate and intricate patrol leaps the ministers, so her daily scavenger route is synchronized for a split second. Wolfie's doing good. He's taking a little nap. He sometimes has dreams when I do these reads. He does a little like boop, boop, that kind of thing. I know the Lantern Artwork is, it's mint, right? Yes, and it is Jessica Cruz. Are we related? He's in Doggy Dreamland, that's right. And hopefully I'm taking him through, because Wolfie's another Green Lantern, right? There's a few lanterns around here. And it's a great way to fuel your imagination, nourish the dreamscape, right? All right, so it's kind of creepy in this place. It's like a land of shadows. And the artwork's really cool. You can kind of see the lantern glyph in pieces as well as they do the panel work. Who's the illustrator here? Liam Sharp. Very nice. Okay. Written by Grant Morrison, just so you know. Oh, wizard speak, I tell you, you guys. So who among the residents would dare disturb the peace of Meridian, the wizard guy. Who but the one who comes walking, the one who will change everything. There's not so much glare. Hey, Red Heron, welcome. In silence, Meridian sleeps, and all the rules, and of all the rules, there is only one that must be obeyed on pain of death. Whatever happens, Meridian must not wake. It's like, what's that guy, that story about that guy who was like sleeping all that time? Rip Van Winkle, that kind of thing. You know, like the wizard can't be asleep because if he wakes up, I guess this reality falls apart. Is he dreaming this reality? Another soundless chime, another empty hour, and the hollow bells in the clock tower ring out the silences. She cannot afford to miss a beat. Ooh, look at this artwork, you guys. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Never looked so good. This way will be safer. No sound louder than a whisper, she warns him. And so, in hisses and gestures, she explains herself. He can't remember who he is. He knows there is a very important job he must do, but he can't remember what it is. Why whisper? He inquires. Her eyes dart from side to side. Meridian, she explains. That was the name, he says. The little man told me to say Meridian sent me. As he speaks, her face turns paler in the olive shade. If Meridian sent you, she whispered. It really is the end of the world. Red Heron, thank you for that. And thanks for the roses. Dredis, oh my goodness, I can't read your name. Oh, 666. Oh, 6 is actually not the scary number people think it is. That's for another time, another topic. Oh, thank you, Red Heron. Lots of love, you guys. Let's do a little break to charge the ring because, did you guys know to charge the ring, you have to say the oath? There's a fun little animated short that I found on YouTube where Jon Stewart, like, so as you can see here, Hal Jordan is in this, on this mission, on this cosmic mission. And in many times when you're traveling the multiverse, traveling through time, all that kind of stuff, you lose your memory, right? You're like, just like this life too, right? You maybe come from a divine other star system. You jump into this body. You don't have any idea what the heck happened. Or like, I came here for a reason. Just can't remember what exactly it is. So it's the same kind of concept here, right? So Hal Jordan doesn't know. And so Jon Stewart in this animated short doesn't remember who he is. He knows he's a Green Lantern. And he's like, oh, I'm trying to charge my ring. I keep putting it in the battery and like nothing's happening. And Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, right, tells him, oh, you have to say the oath for your ring to charge. And Jon Stewart looks at him being like, okay, what's the oath? He's like, in brightest day, in blackest night, let no evil escape my sight. And let all those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. And then Jon Stewart looks at him and is like, are you serious? So corny. And Green Arrow's like, hey, that's the oath. And so, but he's like, you got to say it with feeling and in your chest and like you mean it. So Jon Stewart puts his ring into the battery, right, which looks like a big lantern, right? And he goes like, brightest day and blackest night, let no evil escape my sight, and let all those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. And then it charges. So the quick charge, right, before we continue on with the story. Thank you guys for joining. We've got Grant Morrison writing the story of Green Lantern. We are in the middle of a cosmic journey with Hal Jordan, my personal favorite Green Lantern. And our fun, look at our hottie right now. Oh, Kavanaugh, thank you for that. Hand hearts back at you. All right, and look how great she looks. I love the illustrations in this particular read. She looks great. I don't want to spoil who she actually ends up being. So we have like a wizard who's sleeping, and this fairy princess, emerald princess girl, who's basically like, oh my gosh, it is the end of the world if you, Hal Jordan. He doesn't know he's Hal Jordan. He's like, I don't know who I am. I don't know who you are. I don't know why I'm here. Other than the fact that I was supposed to say that this wizard guy sent me. And she's like, oh my gosh, if that's true, this is the end of the world. What else is new, right? Okay, it really is the end of the world. We must run. We must hide. Hal Jordan's probably like, I don't really run. I don't really hide. But, yeah, tell me about it, right? End of the world. Oh, just another Thursday, right? Friday now, actually. Okay, just go on the side so I don't have a glare. Thank you guys for joining this read. I'm Jessica Cruz. We're reading Green Lantern. The shortcuts have never seemed so vital before. The patrols, thrown into disarray, move randomly, and it takes all her skill, every radar pulse of intuition, to navigate a complex choreography through their circuits. They almost reach it, her secret room, her special place, in the basement of the abandoned Grand Hotel below the Gramarye. Almost. This reminds me of like a D&D mission, right? You're going into like some strange cosmic temple, Green Lantern, abandoned emerald temple, What are we trying to find? A sleeping wizard, indeed. Don't stop, she begs him. Not now. They'll be here any moment. Who will be here? Oh yeah, the minister guys, like the evil night. Like she was saying earlier that the nightmares of the sleeping wizard, they get embodied as like these evil minister things that are, So this is a cute scene. He's so cute. I love you, Hal. Don't stop, she begs him. Not now. They'll be here any moment. But he does stop. Oh, thanks, Leo Vasquez. Thanks for the roses. Welcome. I'm Jessica Cruz. And we're reading a tale from Green Lantern by Grant Morrison. And the illustrations are Liam Sharp. The story is actually called The Day the Stars Fell. So welcome, my stars, to this. But he does stop there in the plaza of dried fountains, drained wishing wells, where he pauses and is very still. Oh, Badman, thank you for the roses and the heart me. Welcome to the Cosmic Comic Book Club, by the way. Hope you love these stories as much as I do, especially all the woo-woo fantastical sci-fi tales. I always like them. These ones are my favorite. I like it when I don't exactly understand it. Yeah, I'm Batman. I don't know if Batman will like that. I've had a few lives with Batman Healthy on here, and we always like argue about like who would win in a fight, Green Lantern or Batman. I'm like, Batman only has the ability to like sneak the Green Lantern ring off, in which case maybe he has like a chance, but otherwise, no. Right? Aw, thank you, Batman. Appreciate it. Lots of love back at you. And the power of the imagination is really what is behind the Green Lantern ring, right? Okay, so she's telling him, don't stop. He does stop, though. It's like almost like this garden area with like a lot of lanterns. He was clearly sent here on a mission, but he doesn't exactly remember what it is. It's as if in the radial plan of Emerald Sands and its curved courtyards, he recognizes another order, a new significance. You told me it got darker and darker. You said it was glowing green, once alive, he reminded her. Now it's as if it's running down, losing energy, as if... Ooh, I love the artwork. Oh, yes, I am okay, Gwen Stacy. It's just a lot of symbolism here. Look how cool that looks, that door. Love it. Love it, love it. Emerald Sands, you are here. It's almost like you're in the mall, right? That big podium thing where it's like, you are here. And you're just like, how does that make sense? We are everywhere, maybe? My God, Hal says, of course. Of course, he says, a man shocked from sleep by a lightning strike. There was a U-bomb. I had to disarm it. Ooh. Guardians diverted the entire output of the central battery through my powering, shot us into deep space. Enough energy to kill me, but the ring would do anything to keep me alive. And here he looks at Pennyworth as if she ought to know already. I'm Hal Jordan, Green Lantern Corps, Officer 2814.1. This isn't the first time. We're inside my power ring, and it's running out of charge. The world is dying because the ring is dying. And we're nowhere near a lantern. So remember I was talking about how John Stewart being like, my ring's dead. It's not working because it needs charge. So they're inside the ring. So Hal Jordan was in a situation where a bomb went off. They had to disarm it. They diverted the energy. And so the ring, our beautiful green fairy goddess here, she is kind of like how Cortana is like the AI sentience, like friendly Cortana. Like it's like she's the consciousness behind the ring, right? Because when the Green Lanterns use their ring, they're like, you have a connection with it. It's like Master Chief and the armor and how Cortana is linked to that armor. It's like that concept with that kind of tech as well. Oh my goodness. Oh, welcome. I wasn't even planning going live. I was just like, I was really tired from the Phoenix read I did on Tuesday night, and then I was really wanting to do this last night. But I've learned when it comes to these late night comic book reads with you guys, I can't do two in a row. It kills me. I'm no spring chicken anymore, right? I was born in the 80s, so like I need like good nap time, good dream time to like get recharged. Just like the rings, right? You need to charge before you can do it again, right? So love the Halo rush. I love that you caught the Halo reference, Jimmy. I love Halo so much. So tomorrow I hopefully can stream some of that. I need to try some new setups when it comes to the game streaming stuff because I've been doing it in this really janky way before. Yeah, I was born in 1985. So it's craziness. Supergirl died in Crisis on Infinite Earths in 1985, and I was born in 1985. So to me, there's a strange little coinky dink there for me and my own cosmic story as to what stories are resonating with you. And like, because I looked into that rabbit hole, I ended up in this rabbit hole, Final Crisis. So all these different cosmic stories because, stories go unactivated until you read them, right? Oh, thank you. I have a lot of friends who tell me, they're like, did you drink the fountain of youth, Rachel? Because you look younger now than you did in high school. I'm like, probably because I was carrying a lot of stress and anxiety and discomfort with being in my own skin all through high school. So when I dropped all that extra weight and that extra garbage and that hormone interference, my down regulated my nervous system, all that kind of stuff. So let's continue onward. 40 is the new 20, Red Heron. And what is time anyways when you're a timeless being, right? It's about unlocking all of that kind of stuff, I think. And realizing that a true technology is this human body. There's a big reason why many of our superheroes start out here on Earth, this sector, right? So we feel like we're so insignificant, but there is this concept of like, um, you would notice if you didn't have a little toe, right, in your body. Like, it's so little, you'd notice you didn't have a pinky. So just like whatever function we are playing in the grand scheme of things in the grand cosmic body, it's very important that you do you because there's no other you, right? So you got to do it. But it's easier said than done. Trust, I know. I'm hotter than a quantum computer. Oh, what a great comment. Thank you. Server rooms got to stay cool. That's what I used to work in tech a lot as well. But that's for another day. And if you want to join Superhero School, which is going to start on January 18th, we have 12 modules prepared. Each module is going to be hosted and taught by one of my cosplay characters. And Jessica Cruz is going to teach about transmuting fear. And of course, we do some nerd stuff with all the different lantern rings, right? And, Mogo is a really interesting character as well because Mogo is a sentient planet, which is the home to the Green Lantern Corps. And I have a really cute story where Hal Jordan returns Mogo's Green Lantern ring to him. So calls him Bud and stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm like, the Earth is like that too, like we're part of the Earth's grand cosmic body, that kind of thing. I can't wait for the Lantern Tour. Me either. Maybe we can have some watch parties of that on Discord, you guys. And Daddy Win-Win, thanks for that. Oh, you guys are Sergio, thank you. All right, you're beautiful too. Remember, everything that you put out into the world, it reflects back to you like 10 times fold. So, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, Okay, so anyways, we're in the Green Lantern ring. We're in Hal Jordan's Green Lantern ring because the ring was trying to save him, right? Kind of like how Cortana saves Master Chief, right? Where, like, just goes into a cocoon state and, like, call me when you need me, kind of thing. So, of course, he says, a man shocked from sleep by a lightning strike. There was a U-bomb. I had to disarm it. Guardians diverted the entire output of the central battery through my power ring, shot us into deep space. Enough energy to kill me, but the ring would do anything to keep me alive. And here, he looks at Pennywear as she ought to know already. I'm Hal Jordan, Green Lantern Corps Officer 2814.1. This isn't the first time. We're inside my power ring, and it's running out of charge. And Mooney Beats indeed, as within, so without. Yes, your inner world, it definitely projects out into that external world. You have much more power than we have been led to believe when it comes to that. The world is dying because the ring is dying, and we are nowhere near a lantern. Sinestro is still around. You know what? It's funny because I do have a few reads. I have some comic books where there's some healing that takes place between like Hal and Sinestro, because Sinestro, I believe, is like best buddies with Abin Sur, who is the previous owner of Hal Jordan's ring, right? So there's some interesting, and Sinestro falls in love, I think, with Abin Sur's like daughter. So there's some stuff there. I wonder if the Lanterns will include all of that in their show. We shall see. I hope they do. Okay, so they're inside the ring's out in deep space, it's running out of power. What are they going to do? We could be anywhere in 100,000 light years of empty void, and no one knows. No one can find us. So they're out in deep space. This is basically if this ring was just out floating in the middle of like nowhere. How are you going to find that? Oh, Two Cap. Thank you. Matches my whole outfit. Society is yeah, it sure is. If you let yourself believe in the wrong things. Okay. Okay, I got this. You know what? I'm going to, before I do anything, I'm going to get rid of certain people. Like, if you think that the worst thing in society is reading comic books, I feel like you have some other issues going on. Okay, there. Oh, thank you, Full Panda. Marvel Guy rules, love that. And Mark, can I do the ring activation? I sure can. It actually shows up in the story. I actually talked about how, the oath is important in many ways. One of them being to charge the ring, right? So let's do it. Let's charge the ring together. I'm working on making my own little lantern. Well, it'd have to be a bigger lantern because those batteries. And think about it in yourself too, like your own recharge rituals, your own invocations of self, the inner monologues you have with yourself, and ensuring there are things that power you, right? So, okay, lanterns, are you ready? In brightest day, in blackest night, let no evil escape my sight, and let all those who worship evil's might beware my power Green Lantern's light. All right. So we have discovered that we're actually inside of Hal Jordan's Green Lantern ring. He is nowhere near a central battery or a battery in order to charge the ring. And so the whole world is dying because the ring is also dying. So what are we going to do, guys? What? Oh yeah, I will teach that to Josie, of course. Any babies that I have, they all learn the oath. And each of the Lantern Corps, they actually have their own oaths. I don't have them off the top of my head, but the Blue Lantern Rings of Hope actually have a pretty nice oath as well. The Indigo Compassion Rings are also nice as well. And, they all have a place and time, right? I have read Blackest Night with you guys before as well. 2Cap, you're the bomb. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so continuing onward. Look at this art, you guys. Look at how gorgeous it is. Oh, okay. So Hal's like, all right, we're inside a ring. We're out in deep space. No one can find us. No worries. I got this. That's what you need. That's why I love him, right? It doesn't matter. It's a little bit of a conundrum, but it's okay. Okay, I got this. Pennywicker speaks slowly. If Merriweddin sent you, then you're not Merriweddin. But, and her voice becomes now oddly hollow. If you're not Merriweddin, then that makes you special. That makes you different. And why is that? He asks, and the hair prickles on his neck, a static sixth sense. Because everyone else is Merriweddin. He thinks for a moment. Except, what about you, Pennywicker? See, I know all about Merriweddin. Merriweddin is, well, he's a disembodied alien wizard imprisoned in the ring by the guardians of the universe. So this wizard guy is actually like an alien, evil, bad guy wizard. So he's trapped inside the ring as a manner of being a prison, right? They put him in solitary, so he dreams of Emerald Sands Resort, a retreat for his fellow sorcerers, all in awe of him. Of course, they put him in a dream where he's like, oh yeah, a resort where everyone's worshiping me. Yeah, bad guys like that kind of stuff, right? They don't dare speak except in whispers. Even the buildings are designed to applaud their creator. Everyone here is stuck on repeat because there's no power left for his constructs. But that doesn't mean we don't have a chance. And he turns to face her with those incendiary eyes. Because you're not part of Merriweddin either. You are like me, separate, different. You're bigger than all of this. That can only mean one thing, right? Who else could be in here with me? You are the ring's AI. Pennywicker, power ring. You're my ring, and I can't do this without you. So it's totally like Cortana Master Chief, right? Where he's like, I need you, Cortana. Come on. Like, and how he's like, I was supposed to protect you. And she says we're supposed to protect each other. Same kind of thing. And so he's like, you're my ring. And she's like, what? What do you mean? What are you talking about? And she's gorgeous, though, the way they did her. She looks at him saying, I don't know what you're talking about, Hal Jordan. Let's see. Oh, we're almost there. This next panel is awesome. Good. No sound louder than a whisper, she'd said under her breath. We will make you belong. Because it's like, the movie Inception where they're inside of a dream, and when the dream knows it, like, it like starts to attack you, or like the Matrix, like it sends like she now realizes, wait a minute, I'm not part of this weird construct prison. I'm part of you. Like, we're the partners, right? So she's like, and so the minute that that thought escapes her lips, it knows, right? And starts to attack. We will make you belong. So no sound louder than a whisper, she'd said under her breath. And he's Hal Jordan, which means commands, orders, rules, and regulations can go to Merowittin, because Hal Jordan doesn't listen to any of that. He's a renegade. I love him. So he yells out, he's like, I'm going to wake that goddamn wizard up. Naturally, the wizard stirs. Wake up, Merowittin. Wake up, damn you, Jordan commands, the calm control in his voice barely veiling his rage. Wake up and face the fact you're dying unless you help us. No, 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 says the wizard. I do not want to face. Oh, that's getting cool. So they created the ring as a prison for this wizard guy, and it's dying, and they're nowhere near a battery. So what do? Haldron's like, all right, let's wake the damn wizard up, and maybe he can provide some magic juice, perhaps, to charge the ring. We shall see. You have to reabsorb emerald sands, Jordan explains, with only minutes to spare before the end. Everything and everyone, bricks and mortar, flesh and blood, it was all just you to begin with. And we need every iota of the power it took to keep this illusion alive, he tells the wizard. We need it to boost the ring. You'll die along with the rest of us, Merowittin, unless you give us what you've got. Oh yeah. Hey Benjamin, welcome to the read. I'm Jessica Cruz. We're reading Green Lantern, written by Grant Morrison and illustrated by Liam Sharp. Look, I love the illustrations. So gorgeous, gorgeous. So it's telling the wizard, wake the F up. You gotta save us. You gotta save yourself. Let's do it. Can't die. We can't do this alone. I can't see. I can't. So the ring, like everything is slowly dying. The world is dying, including the consciousness that exists inside of each power ring. She is slowly fading. I am the Green Lantern. I'm one of the Green Lanterns. We're a team. We're a core, right? So to all of you Green Lanterns out there, welcome, welcome, right? So look at her. Hal's like, oh my gosh, we gotta freaking do something. You gotta like wake up. Come on. We can't do this alone. And she says, I can't see. I can't. Hold on. And he says to her, and I love this part, you and me together, like always, that last effort, everything we've got, we activate the homing protocol. And then, say what, Perdo? See. I said, I saw. A ring appeared from nowhere. Ring depleted. Immediate attention required. Hal Jordan. Jordan is inside the ring. Reverse miniaturization. Emergency protocol 0900. I think I missed. Did I miss something? I did. Sorry, you guys. This panel's important. Oh, so this part is where the darkness comes before we get help. I give my boy John Stewart a chance. I love John Stewart, you guys. I did tell a story about how Boogie Woogie, John Stewart has actually this relationship with Fatality, who is a Star Sapphire, and they have their relationship actually love because he's so he's like classic military leader. So a lot of his constructs are like, okay, I'm gonna have a team of guys around me to help fight. So when he has conversations with like Fatality, she's like, oh, love's so simple. You just follow your heart and do things. He's like, it's not that simple, you know, like following orders is simple. She's like, no, no, no. It's more complicated than that. And so like their interactions, I'll get that comic book and read you guys because I have a few John Stewart fans in the crowd. I like him too, right? I like all of them. I just have like my top is Hal Jordan just because of the stories that he's in, right? Not that simple. It's never that simple. You're gonna face it's complicated, right? Emotions, they are complicated. Okay, so he's telling her, you gotta hold on, final effort, it's all going black. The world is ending. They're trying to wake up this wizard who's sleeping, right? I can't, there's nothing. And Hal says, there's me. Oh, thank you, Showfiz AC. There's me. I gotta do like my man voice. There's me, right by your side, never apart. Commencing interspace acceleration. Together, they watch the world fall down, and together hear Merowitten's terrible death, shrieking howls. Even Merowitten's power, it isn't enough. Then it all comes down to us. Pure will and genius technology, everything that we've got. Remember? Power at 0.5%, 0.3%. And when we've given everything and there's no more left to give, we go the extra mile. Hell yeah, he says, as if he already knows their home, already safe, just somewhere up ahead. Lock course to OA, all maintaining power, all remaining power, accelerate to space field now. See? So, yes. Oh my gosh. Great call, Mark. It is the day the stars fell. They're inside that power ring, right? Which was like a prison for that wizard guy. And the wizard was like, no help. Everything basically went black. The ring's AI freaking out, but we're with Hal Jordan, baby. And so he's like, don't worry. When things all go dark, when you've got nothing left, this is where you go that extra mile. When all seems dark, push through. Help is just along the horizon, right? Just like Gandalf, right? In like Two Towers, like you don't know, like just hold on, right? You think it all goes dark. That's when the brightness pushes through, right? That's where the light comes. Say what, Purdue? See, I said, I saw. A ring appeared from nowhere. Ring depleted, immediate attention required. Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan is inside the ring. Reverse miniaturization. Emergency protocol 0900. Bringing him up now. Ah, damn it. The ring is dying. Get me a lantern right now. Pennywigger, certain she can hear voices out there in the void, beyond the jade black horizon. She's sure there's screams and cries for mercy, swiftly answered by yet more screams, and silence, and growling, flesh-eating chuckles. In this way, Pennywigger, dying, all alone, shivers out the last miniaturized existence. So the ring is dying, and Hal Jordan's like, I need a freaking power ring. Let's get this going. Beyond where the cold gathers in heavy folds and layers, Merowitten's voice speaks in muttering verse of 4 a.m. terrors at the end of things, where imagination will finally run out in an empty universe. He left you in the dark and ran. You're all alone. There was no plan. Where finally the last of his ministers, swollen with the meat and marrow of its cannibalized brethren, will turn and see me here, Pennywigger thinks, and smiles, and puts her trust as always in her symbiote. Since doomed magnificent Abin Sur died, Hal Jordan of Earth. And in the cold and dark you hear those awful murmurs drawing near. They speak in voices chill and bleak. Your time has come. You're not unique. Attend the dying of the rhyme. No verse exists to counter mine. And so it's come, your hour, then. As if in answer comes a louder voice, a stronger voice, and clearer. A voice that speaks these words. Here it goes. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. You guys know the end of this, right? Green Lantern's light. And so with that, is that the end of it? I'm missing a page. Oh, these gloves make it hard to turn pages. So let me take off this glove and I can do it. That is the end. Yeah. So beware my power, Green Lantern's light, and this recharges the ring. We have our beautiful fairy AI Chicky back in her flush emerald garden again. So we did it, you guys. Recharge the ring out in the void, and I love this. Right, gorgeous. And it finishes, yes, with Green Lantern's light, and he kisses the ring as a way of kissing Pennywigger, right? His AI in there. And so as she put her trust into him, and there we go. And then the next story, we have a little story with Hal and Ollie. Ollie and Hal are actually good friends. I love their relationship together. There's a point in time where Hal actually becomes the Scepter, and there's a scene in Identity Crisis I'll read you guys at some point. So thank you guys for joining me for this read. It's Emerald Sands, which is one of the stories in the Green Lantern Day the Stars Fell series with Grant Morrison. Thanks you guys for joining. Thanks you guys for bringing all your energy to the live. Tomorrow, Supergirl will be back, and she's going to be reading you guys Final Crisis. And this is also by Grant Morrison. This is an intense read. I started reading some of it as well, although like some of that. There's a lot in here too where we have, oh, look at this gorgeous Supergirl. Look at that. Some great art. So I picked this one up from the library. I forget what year it came out, but this is about the anti-life equation. So I've read you guys a series with Green Lantern where we talk about the new gods, right? So we might revisit that next time. Tomorrow we're going to jump into Crisis and talk about the connection between the Crisis on Infinite Earths, Multiversity, the New 52, and how that all relates into Final Crisis, as well as the prophecy that takes place in Doomsday Clock, where they talk about after this, there is a rebirth, right? Just like how we talked about how every time it gets dark, even in this story, right, it went black, right? And the wizard was like, ha, 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 he abandoned you. And it's like, nah, you don't know my boys, right? You don't know my boy. Like, they will always come back, right? They always come through. Oh, that's very sweet, King. Am I going to read the whole thing? Red Heron, what a great question. Probably not. Tomorrow, because it's Supergirl, I'm going to read certain parts of it that deal with Supergirl's part in it. I will probably come back to this as Green Lantern to talk about the Green Lantern part in here, because they try to judge Hal Jordan for the things he does as Parallax, because Parallax, they didn't do this right in the movie, right? They just made Parallax a creature rather than the personification of fear itself, and what happens to Hal when he has to go through that redemption arc of like doing a bunch of horrible stuff, kind of like what the Phoenix does too, Dark Phoenix, and then coming back from that and being like atoning for it, right? And it's this realization that none of us are all squeaky clean, and then who has the right to tell other people what to do and all that kind of stuff. I love Hal as Parallax. He's like an ultimate villain, right? Like, you don't want to go toe-to-toe to him. So, but as I said, Hal Jordan is my favorite Green Lantern. I do also love the other Lanterns like Kyle Rayner, Jon Stewart, Jessica Cruz, Jade, Abin Sur. I've read a few stories about him, who's Hal Jordan's predecessor. I do also like Sinestro, right? And that whole character arc of how misunderstood some of the Lanterns are, like the Yellow Lanterns and the Red Lanterns. They're not bad, right? It's just dealing with, I love Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner is like White Lantern too, right? And what a sweet guy, right? Also, I do love, oh my goodness, there's like the sons of all of like the first generation superheroes. So Oliver Queen's son, I think it's it's not Hal Jordan. No, it's Kyle Rayner, because Kyle Rayner's, I think, a bit younger. So Kyle Rayner, Hal Jordan, it's like ends up being a mentor to him. But I think also there's a level of Kyle Rayner dates Carol, like they share a girl. I don't know. It gets complicated. Remember, love relationships, all that kind of stuff. So I look forward to the Lantern show. I hope that they um, have a nice balance of dealing with like big galactic solving crime stuff, and also keeping that whole personable, what it means to work on a team, different partner dynamics. And I hope they keep like the humor in there too without having it be cheesy, if you guys know what I mean, right? Thanks, Sergio. You guys are the best too. So let's thoughts on the older Hal. It makes sense, right? Because he does end up just like the Phoenix. Once you go through your whole redemption arc, you spread your wings a bit and are more like of the Wild West, right? You can't be tied down. That's why I love him. Like it's that archetype where like he's not meant to settle down and be homey. He's meant to like explore, push the boundaries. So I do love that for the show, because it's kind of like that older mentor cop guy who can give some advice to like the younger guys. And you kind of get a sense of that too, because in a lot of the comic books, Jon Stewart is the leader of the Corps. Hal Jordan's kind of like consultant older guy, and a lot of the other younger Lanterns, Jessica Cruz included, really really respect Hal Jordan in the Corps. So yeah, so I do like the whole idea of like, well, and I'm older too, so it's just like when I was watching Riverdale, where like I liked Archie's dad, and rest in peace Luke Perry. But like I'm like, oh, I'm dating myself now. Like I like the dads of the show, so I'm cool with the older Jordan. Okay, you guys. I hope you have a beautiful night wherever you are in the multiverse. Remember, it takes true courage for you to be exactly you in this cosmic game of life. So please do play as exactly you, because the universe is counting on you. Does Hal still love Carol? I think so. I think Hal will always love Carol. And it's one of those things, like even Batman in this story, he has a conversation with Alfred where he's like, no loving anybody. I only short-term one night stands, because it's a way of protecting those that you love, right? Because there is a price. I know I've loved certain individuals where like like your heart, it's a risky thing for your heart. And the Flash talks about this too. It's like to love a speedster, to love that kind of archetype, there's a certain thing that goes along with the MO when you're that wifey, right? So um yeah, I'll say that. Okay, yeah. All right, guys. I love Carol too. I would cosplay as a Star Sapphire for sure. I relate a lot to the going nuts, because someone doesn't love you in the way that you want them to. And that's just a way of learning how to work with that ring. All right, Lanterns, thank you guys for joining. Remember, it takes true courage for you to play as exactly you in the cosmic game of life. So be sure to play as exactly you, because guess what? The universe is counting on you. But I've got your back. Till next time, Lanterns, Jessica Cruz, signing out.